Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee blog. In this video, I wanted to do a part 2 of the Collaborative Origins cupping and follow it up with, okay, now that we've tasted something in the cup, like how can we kind of draw a line to corresponding varietal and terroir? Because that's my goal. It's like, okay, so if that one guy, Simon Craig or Craig Simon, was trying to become a sommelier about coffee and be able to basically understand source from what we're tasting, that would be freaking awesome if I could do that. So let's dive into it and dig a little bit more into the green that we like. So if we remember what we were tasting, so the green one, that was the third one that I thought was the most balanced. The second one was the most acidic, and then the first one was like the second most acidic. And then I said that the third one, which was the green labeled one, because I can't read anything here, but the green labeled one was the one that I would choose to like buy in terms of the most versatility and the most pleasing and balanced. I think that's the most important word to say. It was the most balanced cup of the three. Okay, so we have the green as the most balanced. That's the second one. Orange is the second one. Yellow is the first one. Okay, good. So armed with that information, during my cupping, the first one, and all of these are wash process, tasted more natural, like very berries and very almost fermenty. So that was interesting. Ryan hit me up later on the DMs, and he said that the main thing that they're trying to push, I think, in their marketing and what their like mission is the fact that they do pre-buys. And I don't know what that means, so we're going to dive into what it means to pre-buy a coffee and how that benefits a farmer. Okay, so here we are at collaborativeorigins.com. Better coffee comes from better relationships. Our pre-buy, here we go, commitment enables producers to focus more on farming spectacular coffees and less on challenging financial obstacles. What does pre-buying mean? There's a video somewhere that we're supposed to... Oh, look at this. Here's Ryan. Which one? Okay, wait. I'm guessing this is you, Ryan? Okay, Ryan left. Okay, hi, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, again for sending me and communicating me with your coffee and really trying to, reach out to roasters like me. I think this is pretty cool. Casamage, that's how you say that. Casamage Finca La Hermosa. Sorry for my pronunciation in the last video. Here they are. Look at this. This was my most balanced one, right? This was the most acidic. This one I thought was tasting very almost natural process and second acidic out of all of them. Let's dive into this a little bit. So this is the cooperative of producers, meaning that there are multiple farmers in this line, of producers. So we have Antonio Medina, Oswaldo Medina, and Tulio Medina. All Medinas. The wet mill is the Finca La Colina, and the region is San Martin Jilotepe, Guatemala. Elevation 1,700 meters plus, so generally high elevation. Okay, here's something we're trying to nail down, which is what the varietal. So this is a Bourbon and Caturra. And you remember that link I gave you with a bunch of links to like what do processes and varietals taste like? And I'm drinking your coffee right here. It is the second one, so the most acidic, which I love. Okay, it was the videos, where does that flavor come from? Okay, so if you guys remember this video, if you don't know what it is, I put a bunch of links in here. It was really mostly for myself so I could learn this better. Okay, varietal and cultivar. If you go to the Ad Astra link, they have like varietals and processes broken down by taste. So Bourbons are your almonds, vanilla, sweet, plum, chocolate, Caturra, caramel, almond, chocolate. These two are going well together. And when farmers grow certain varietals or choose to grow Bourbon, Caturra, heirloom, whatever, it's first of all what's going to do well in that environment, and then what provides also like a good yield of coffee. I mean, can they harvest a lot, or are they going to be harvesting very little, like say a geisha, and so they have to drive the price up and have a very narrow, stake on the market, versus like say a Caturra or Bourbon, maybe have a wider stake on the market, more buyers basically. More product, more buyers. Little product, very little buyers. From $36, what, a pound? Is that true? If that's, okay, here's the size. 5-pound bag, 80 ounces. Okay. All right, that makes more sense. $36 for 5 pounds. That's good. Let's compare it to Hasea. I mean, I don't mean to boil it down to numbers, but that's what people are going to do. I don't typically do that, but so that breaks down to $7.36 per pound, $36. Okay, so very, very comparable. So now it just ends up becoming like, how much do you want to pay for shipping? And typically, if people are talking to me here in California, they are in Kansas City, Missouri. So maybe they have what they call, but basically they have like a warehouse or a storage warehouse here in California or somewhere closer to California than Missouri, right? So they'll have something like that to save you on things like shipping and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, so this is, I would say, very competitive. I think Hasea has one of the best prices out there for green and quality, because it's not just like getting the best price, but it's also like the relationship with, the, I don't know what I would call you guys. You're like the in-between guy. They're not producers. They are, I don't want to say middlemen because it kind of degrades them down to being in the middle, but they are in the middle of the producer and their buyer. So for now, I'm just going to say middlemen. I don't want to degrade it down to that, but they do a lot. Like these people here in this position, from the producer to the roaster, they're doing quality control. They're doing their own cuppings and tastings, and then trying to communicate and work with roasters like me, whether you're really small or really big. I'm doing a lot of marketing for them already for no cost at all to them, except sending me 3 bags, but I do it with no agenda. I'm passionate about the process and just about learning. And as I make content like this, I'm teaching myself. So it's like, I lose nothing. I only gain, and they only gain from this. So it's all win-win. Okay. So cool. That's good to know. I think that their best coffee, the green that they offer, is very competitive with that of the coffee that I offer here, which is Guatemala. And you know what? I'll do this. I'll run a test. I'll do it, and maybe we'll do it like a part 3 or something like that. We'll run this coffee and cup it against this one, and I'll try to do it blind so that I'm not picking one over the other. But see the difference here in the varieties: Bourbon, Typica, Pache, Catuai. So when I was talking to Jared, he was saying that certain varietals will have their peak in terms of flavor. Right, so if we look at this, like these are what Caturras taste like when roasted well, and in general, right? This is a very kind of in general statement, but like in general, these are what Caturras would taste like. Heirlooms, geishas, right? SL28, these are like in Ethiopia and stuff. See the difference between washed and natural. So we get lemons, we get citrus, we get high noted things with washed coffees in general. Whereas with naturals, there's also a limit to their elevation or their high noted qualities or potential high noted qualities. Like their highest noted qualities may be like berries and maybe some floral stuff, but mostly rooted in earthy, fermenty, dirty is a very strong word. Mold's a very strong word for naturals, but you could see that I think a lot of people who are well versed in tasting coffees will often prefer washed because of the clarity of flavor that can be present in the cup, whereas natural, because of the way it's processed, may often the flavors may often get kind of muddled, cloudy. Okay. And I could see that. But I still feel like I still love naturals a lot. And sometimes I like that. I like a little dirty martini. A little dirty wine. Like natural wine would be often very cloudy, right? So I personally like it. And there's nothing wrong with what you personally like. You know, as somebody great once said, I'm not going to yuck your yum. All right, so let's get back to here. Their cupping notes were honey, a notable creamy body, yes, sweet cantaloupe, orange juice, acidity, so not crazy like lemon, right? And that's what I think I was hitting on, was like, hey, this is the most balanced. SCA score is 84.5. Okay, yeah. Nothing crazy, nothing like, you know, if Geisha's at the top, you know, if Panama Geisha's at the top at like 98 points, this score makes sense. We really got to define what is pre-buy. 50% pre-buy. Every bag purchased ensures that farmers will receive 50% of their coffee's value ahead of the harvest. When we pre-buy in this way, we are reducing the need for farmers to deposit with coyotes or take out bank loans, while at the same time maximizing revenue and reinforcing a sense of collaborative partnership. All of this ultimately leads to better relationships and better coffee, which is what we're all about. Okay. As with anything, there's another side to the story, or there's another perspective to buying coffee. And I was listening to very quickly, James Hoffman, very popular coffee dude, right? And Alex from Alex, the French cooking guy. All right, this video, okay? Can coffee iceberg fix my coffee problem? So in this video, I'll just cut to the chase. James says coffee is political. All right, and in this day and age, are we surprised? But like, honestly, I'm not going to say anything bad. This is nothing bad. I'm just saying, for you as a buyer, and I need to be honest, you know, as you as a buyer, you need to explore and define all of these things that you're reading. You need to define what better coffee is for you as a roaster. Sometimes, you know, it's not always feasible to pay a lot for something just because it favors the farmer. Is the coffee good? Have you tried it in the cup? Can you confirm that in the cup? And it gets a little hairy, and even for me to be even be talking about it and to judge. I'm not judging at all. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to give a perspective of a buyer who's really doesn't know, who's not there with you, who doesn't have all the experience of collaborative origins, who hasn't established any amount of trust in between what they're doing or have any confidence in what they are doing and what they're reading and seeing and all that stuff. So yeah, like a lot of establishing trust online is difficult. And to be able, like Ryan was telling me in the DMs, he's like, yeah, we need to make this more apparent in our messaging that we pre-buy. And I'm like, what the heck is pre-buy? What does that mean? You can tell me that you're buying something before maybe you know how it's going to do or even what it tastes like. And of course, that's going to benefit the farmer. If I buy coffee from a farmer and I haven't even tasted it, but I've assured this farmer, hey, I'm going to take care of you because I'm going to pay, I'm going to pre-buy this coffee and take care of it, or at least 50% of it, right? Before I've even tasted it. And so you've established this trust in the farmer that the farmer is also going to do their very best and to make sure that they're picking, they're processing, if they're sorting out there is trustworthy, right? They're doing a good job and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So it's definitely like everybody is, or that collaborative origins is really putting their necks out and saying like, I'm going to pre-buy this even though I know it's not I don't have confirmation that I know it's 100% good, or that it's scoring 84 or 84.5 points again on this harvest. Okay. So yeah, they are sticking their neck out, and it's noble. It's very noble because they want to look out for the well-being of the farmer. Now the farmer just needs to come through and do their half, right? They're halfway pre-buying the coffee. Now the farmer has to halfway bring it at least, right? And keep producing great coffees for them so that they can continue this business. But yeah, I mean, in the end, like freaking everything, it can get political. So, again, I'm not placing any judgment. I'm just trying to, okay, pre-buy, what does that mean to me as a little home roaster who's not buying a lot of coffee? Does that matter to me? How does it matter to big people who are spending millions of dollars on coffee? Does it even affect me? Even if it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't, right? For me to make this content, it doesn't affect me. But I think it's interesting. And maybe you guys think it's interesting too. Okay, so that's green coffee. A little spiel about that. Yeah, so these are the 3 that they're going for. Very good. And hey, look, you can buy past crop. This is cool. If you're a new roaster, try to get your hands on past crop, because you're not going to be an expert right away anyway, right? And I would definitely do this in the beginning, and I would still even do it now if I want to try something new. Like, say say I just want to test maybe how powerful my machine can be, or how it's handling this or that. I don't know. I think it's a good way to go about doing it. Look, let's see what they need let's see what they're saying. Need to season your roast? Yes. Looking to buy more affordable crop? It's definitely affordable because it's not as fresh. From 2020 to 2021 harvest. This is a good exercise in what old harvest tastes like versus fresh. This is a great experiment, okay? And a need to know for a roaster. We started this idea of collaborative origins back in 2020, so fairly new. We brought in bags of green coffee from Finca La Hermosa, thinking we'd be able to start that year, although this coffee has now aged. It's still pulling nice sweet almond notes and some muddled brown acidities. We'd love to see this coffee utilized in honor despite its older age. Man, yeah. It'll make for a greater, darker roast profile. Yes, used for seasoning greens. I mean, bravo for collaborative origins for writing in a very real and transparent and I think authentic way. This is how I feel like I would do it. So it's really nice to read it. You're just saying, you're just calling it as it is. You're not trying to be fancy or anything like that. So I appreciate that. And it's basically half off. This is a great experiment. Yeah, and I would urge you to try something like this. It doesn't have to be collaborative oranges, but try to buy past crop if you want to run some tests and don't know what old tastes like. Or you can be like, what does 3 years old taste like? What does 2 years old taste like? What does 1 year old taste like, right? Because you're not getting coffee straight off the farm. It's got to sit in a container. It's got to sit in parchment until it gets to you, which is 6 months or something, or 8 months sometimes. So yeah, it's a good idea to understand what that is. Wow, there's a lot to read here on your own. But of course, this link will be in the description and you could check it out. This is a big debate though, as I'm seeing and as I'm learning. I'm so new to, the industry side of coffee, specialty coffee in particular. Yeah, it's still a really big pain point. The fact that farmers, are they able to make a living wage? The fact that that's just the way that the cards are dealt, is we're here in this first world country, quote unquote first world country, and they're there in the quote unquote third world country. But that's where the coffee is. But we get to potentially maximize on it, whereas they potentially don't. It's a big thing. And it creates a lot of discussion, a lot of maybe controversy or whatever, but it's definitely not an easy thing to navigate. So it's admirable for sure to just see companies try. And then there are some people like on the other side of the fence who are like, even though you try, it'll still be criticized heavily, or maybe even scoffed at, or maybe even, you know, people saying you're bad or whatever. Like, and who's to say? You know, so tricky. Fully washed, dry fermentation, and patio dried. I can't say that. The Cooperative of San Martin Jilotepe, or Casamage for short. This collective of 55 farmers came together in 2019 with the goal to obtain better value by processing their cherries into parchment, with a bigger objective to ultimately sell their coffee in a way that would give their region of Jilotepe due honor and recognition. The lot has notes of citrus, chocolates, marshmallow, graham crackers, Swiss silk chocolate body, baker's chocolate, pear sweetness, apple skins. So this Bourbon and this Caturra, very sweet flavors, definitely more sweet, and not too much acidic or high noted things in these varietals. So as a roaster, I should be going, okay, check. Oh, Bourbon, Caturra, more sweet. I mean, that's an easier way to put it, right? Okay. So that's that. So let's go to the second one. This was number two that I thought was the most acidic. Producers from the Casamage: Jose Garcia, Santiago Lopez, Sarviello Carr, Antonio Roca, Federico Roca. From the Las Magnolias, San Martin, Jilotepe, Guatemala, 1,700 meters plus. Bourbon and Catuai, not Caturra. Catuai. What flavors do we typically see there? Where is it? We have to go down. Catuai. There you go. Milk chocolate, plum, still sweet. Almond, vanilla, lemonade, chocolate, caramel, orange, lime, red grape, apple, cherry. Okay. So slightly more acidic, right? Which we can back that up here in this little like poll. This is a poll, right? As a reminder, these are polled answers of what Catuai tastes like to real coffee drinkers who are entering into this Ad Astra app. Same kind of processing. Orange, tangerine, light strawberry, nutmeg spice, baker's chocolate, light medium body. 85.5 scored better. I agree, because I thought it was more high noted. Scored a whole point better. They call it light acidity, clean cup profile with a spiced rum finish. Again, this is all like, number one, a lower elevation coffee, 1,500 meters from Acatenango, Bourbon, Caturra, Catuai, Pache. I mean, all of these varietals are kind of falling in the same spectrum of flavors, I think. You'll have a few standouts, like the Catuai has some lime, yes. A lot of these very sweet, chocolate, almond, caramel. We have plum here, yeah. So we have more of this, like, malic acid. Pache here. Tangerine. Butter, spice, almond, pear, plum, sweet, on the sweet side. I'm seeing more, yellow dried fruit. yellow fruit, orange fruit. We're not getting a lot of berries, even though I got berries in the cup, which I don't know where that came from, but that's just what I tasted. Again, not the best taster in the world. Proud to offer this lot of home roaster community. This lot contains notes of bright orange, great complexity and mouthfeel. Dark date, fig, orange, slight strawberry with warm honey sweetness. Ripe pear, applesauce acidity as it cools. I thought it was really good. I thought they were all good. I could really drink all of them. SCA score 85.5. Fan favorite, most classic Guatemalan coffee profile. Interesting. Again, still processing everything, still like trying to draw lines to the varietals, to the origin, to the terroir. Draw a line. No conclusive like statements to be made at this point. We're just gathering data, and yeah, that's what I'm just doing. Is that's what's cool about these vlogs. Is like, here, this is what I'm reporting. I'm reporting what I'm going through as a home roaster, and I buy green from places like this, who are like these very adamant, ethically sound and humble middlemen. What do I call you guys? You're more than a middleman. I mean, even though technically that's what you're doing, you're in the middle, right? Green coffee sourcers. I mean, there's got to be a better word for it. Tell me what I should call you, Ryan. And I definitely will. Anyway, so that was it. All the links and stuff, interesting stuff. I'll attach these links again. Not that one. This one again. Not that one. Yeah, this one again, and this one, I think. Where does that flavor come from? If you haven't seen this and checked out some of these links in here, I think that'd be really cool. Just as a home roaster. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.